Let's go.
Dave Wilson, our director, he's a big geek. So supporting characters have a lot of gadgetry, and I'll be honest, man, it's really just partly that we love gadgetry. And the studio was very much an advocate of give us something we haven't seen before.
How's that shit feel, old man?
All the prosthetics in the film, from Dalton's legs to the exo arms to Tibbs's vision vest, and all of that is based on design work that was trying to find a grounding of it, and I wanted to find a sort of science fact way of presenting all these augmentations. The pre-production phase of Bloodshot and the process of building everything up from characters to environments to the weapons and tech they use was an amazing privilege. I love that process. I probably did more concepts than I should have.
We built a whole training facility, we built pools, we built a facility to manufacture nanites. I mean, it was pretty amazing stuff.
What the hell are those things? Biomechanical constructs. We call them nanites. They react very quickly to catastrophic injury, rebuilding damaged tissue.
We've taken this idea that you can create microscopic, nanoscopic robots that can live in your body and heal you and give you powers, and made it feel like something that is absolutely plausible today.
This is what drives him to be this killing machine. We think of him as this badass soldier that has this unique ability due to the nanites in his blood.
I didn't want these sort of little adorable-looking robots. I wanted you to be like, I don't want those things anywhere near me. Just because, again, it was part of the sacrifice of him being Bloodshot. So when we designed them, I wanted them to have some semblance of an alien-esque sort of biomechanical design, but an unpleasant one.
We've really tried to escalate the movie, and so we really had a lot of fun with building Harding's arm.
Instead of dwelling on what I'd lost, I chose to focus on who I could become. And so now when a soldier loses his arm, he gets a better one.
Designing Harding's arm, all of it needed to be grounded in science fact. It was more sort of Elon Musk, Tesla factory than it was Tony Stark lab. So all the design principles would make it entertaining, but try and ground it in as much science fact as possible. Harding's arm was just a lot of like nanotech and artificial muscles that we sort of built into that design.
It has its own devices, and it's able to shut off KT's rebreather.
Goodbye, KT.
Like I would let you do that again.
KT's rebreather in particular just wanted to be unpleasant in terms of like how it's implemented into her, like in the scarring and everything like that, but at the same time sleek and functional, but not in a sort of cumbersome fashion.
Yeah. It's not good for you.
KT's rebreathers, the only time we do CG takeovers is there's a handful of shots where we want to actually show it, feature it working, and so it's breathing and these little leaves open up and air is sucked in or out, but for the most part it's like 98% practical.
Coming up. Eyes are in the sky. There he is.
Ocular prosthetics, fascinated in all of that. There's a big sort of wave of things called transhumanism, and there's a lot of that actually happening, sort of augmented vision and hearing and neural prosthetics, and that idea of, you know, we see it today with GoPros and stitching cameras together, and like, what if you can feed a signal directly into your optic nerve, and what exactly can our brains sort of handle in terms of visuals? And that was the idea, that basically Tibbs's vest has his cameras all over. It's a vision vest, and he has a combat one and a sort of everyday version.
Gear-mounted camera arrays feed directly into his optic nerves, which means now he sees everything.
Tibbs just wore like little contact lenses that look milky. So he's all practical, except for his vision, obviously, which we shot with GoPros. We mounted GoPros to the fronts of motorcycles. We put GoPros on him. And so when we go through what he's seeing, we've got this sort of spherical world that we augment. So it's like all his cameras are like feeding back into him.
This guy just won't die.
Dalton is a product of technology, but it's not futuristic at all. It's based in reality now.
Dalton has two augmentations. He's got his legs that have been amputated, and then he has this backpack with these exo arms that can get attached later on.
Dalton's legs are better than his regular legs, and they allow him to jack into the exo arms. So the reason no one else has the sort of exo arms is that those legs plugged into his spine are like sort of all work together to be able to bear the load of the exo arms. So the prosthetic legs he has can bear the physical strain of what the exo arms are putting on his spine.
Dalton's arms are the big favorite, and there was a big choice to be made about when we built those, do we put them earlier in the movie because they're so cool?
On set, what was done was he just wore green socks that ran into green painted shoes, and then they insert the CG version, and, you know, we've got working piston parts inside the legs, so his calf is flexing and things like that, toes can move. And then his backpack, and we just, like, extend the arms off of it.
And there's something really refreshing in this nostalgic viewpoint of bringing that into the third act and elevating the third act. There's so much today, you see these cool ideas up front and the movie doesn't go anywhere. And we've really tried to find a way to escalate the movie.
Now we finally get to use all this shit.
We're going to reach a point where human augmentation isn't a step back from our natural abilities. What happens when you can pay to be smarter, stronger, faster?